Welcome to the Michigan Travel Show, a kaleidoscope of stories about the people, places, and events that shape our great state.
Hey, well, we're here at the National Mall. Right over there is the George Washington Monument. Anyway, and here it all is. We're facing that way. It's going to be obviously the Lincoln Memorial. The White House is directly behind me. And like I said, we're going to walk over and check out the Washington Monument. As you see, lots of pink trees through here. This is cherry blossom weekend here, kinda. It's a little early because of the extremely warm weather we've had here in March. Thousands of people here in town. Here's some of the places up the way: the Veterans Memorial, Vietnam Veterans, Lincoln Memorial, the Tidal Basin, World War II. So this is the epicenter of all the monuments along the National Mall. Beautiful monument, over 500 feet tall. Wow. Here we're in the center, flying kites today. That's an awesome spot. It's turning into dust time. Look at all the cherry blossom trees. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. And we'll walk over the monument. This is, like I said, one of the iconic monuments in America at over 500 feet. I went to the top of that thing probably 40 years ago. Haven't been up there since. Line's always too long to get up there. Okay, well, this is Black here to talk about the Washington Monument. A monumental legacy, obviously. The Washington Monument honors George Washington, hero of the American Revolution and first president of the United States. And this stunning stone obelisk was completed in 1884. It was the tallest building in the world. The monument still towers over D.C., reminding us of Washington's life and legacy, including the capital city that bears his name, along with all the cherry blossom trees that Japan sent us years ago. There is the White House, kind of a cool view of there. That's a beautiful building right there, beautiful view right there. That's kind of cool. I'll go over a little bit past the lights there. I'll stay here till dark to see when the lights go on some of these monuments. There's all the flags around the monument. Like I said, I went up there years ago. It's over 500 feet tall. We'll check out the particulars on there. They'll have a plaque right at the base of the monument. But lots of people out here. A perfect sunny 75-degree day here in Washington. Well, the day of flying kites. I haven't seen that many kites in one day in years. It's a windy day. Flags are all flying full mast. There's the Capitol building down that way. And of course, the monument here is the centerpiece of Washington, basically. Yep, and it's on a little hill they built up. They built this thing. And there's some of the Smithsonian Institute and the old gray building, probably some of the buildings along that way. I believe that is a Holocaust building. That's a newer building. So anyway, and then here we are. Right at the base, I barely see the top. Over 500 feet tall. Pretty cool. Obviously closer day, close at 4 o'clock every day. Another view of the Capitol right there, straight down. Pretty cool. Wowee. Great view of the Capitol. Yep, an iconic building like this one. And of course there are flags all the way around. And there's a plane flying into Reagan Airport. Lots of people. It's a phenomenally beautiful day. And lots of cherry blossom trees in bloom. They're pink all over the city. It is pretty cool. And then down this way, we can see once again the other iconic, world famous monuments. The Lincoln Memorial around the reflecting pool. This iconic view right there. The Lincoln Memorial. Wow, that is such cool. And on both sides there, you'll see some smaller statues there. And those are to the World War II monument that's been built in the last probably 20 years or so. In my day, we used to a race around that reflecting pool. In 1982, I did a 50K walk. I think we did, and we had to walk around the Vietnam, but it was a 2,500 meter loop. It was 20 loops around the reflecting pool. Well, those days are too many tourists nowadays. Pretty cool. Some cherry blossoms up close. Boy, they're fluffy and they're round, they're pink. Beautiful flowers at this time of year. And they're a little bit on the early side because we've had such a warm spring. I'm currently in front of the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture. And just a little ways from the big monument right there. And interesting, it's wrought iron. It looks like all the way around the building on top of there. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Well, you got to have a theme when you got even a tour bus, and in any major city, but here in Washington, Monument City and tourist capital outside of the government, there it is. Tea around town, and in the bottom I see they're making tea and treats. And on the top up there, they've got people sipping tea and treats. Tea treats, tea treats, tea treats. Make reservation, get your tickets at Tea Around Town. That is really innovative and cute. I love it. Well, only in a tourist town like Washington. On the mall here, and there it is all the way down to the Capitol building. They've got some squares marked off to obviously let grass grow on some of them. This one here, it's grass here. The next one, they are letting the grass grow. The one behind me, they're letting people be on it, so probably move the fence around, and like I said, you know, so you have some green grass in spots so it's not overused. But there's this Capitol, all the trees lining it, and then there's the majestic monument. There's part of the Smithsonian over there. This is the African American Museum. Kind of a unique design, to say the least. Kind of cool. Very unique design. Obviously a newer building, so they make them a little different when they're a little newer. Okay, well, there's the White House. Interesting. Quarter mile away. There's the White House. Lots of security over a quarter mile away. Lots of security here. Ram vehicle, fire truck. Can't come any closer. So there it is, the White House. This is pretty cool. Look at all the underneath all the cherry trees. A little light pinkish color. People are just hanging out. That's pretty cool. I'm currently over here at the World War II monument that was built probably 20 years ago. Not a super lion. Anyway, it's pretty cool. I got Pacific on one side. You have a fountain when summer hits, and got the Atlantic. The war was on both sides of the world. It's kind of cool. You got some tour guides, your private tour guides, telling people about the obviously the monument, the mall, obviously the reflecting pool, and of course, probably the most famous monument in this town is still the Lincoln Memorial. It is so majestic, open 24/7. You can walk in there and see a few things said and written by Abraham Lincoln. So, and of course, this beautiful view all the way from Lincoln Memorial to the Washington Monument, and on the other side of it you could see the top of the Capitol. Of course, I'm here, it's dark, so they're going to be putting some lights over there just a little ways where you can see the Jefferson Memorial, which is around a pond over there. So I'm going to walk down all the way to the Lincoln Memorial and check it out. I'm looking at the World War II monument with all the lights around it. And then over there on the other side is the Pacific. And the fountain will probably be going next month. Hey, it's kind of cool. I'm here at just a little ways from the Lincoln Memorial. It's kind of cool here because you have this big pool, and it is called the reflecting pool. Well, in the nighttime you can definitely tell, but even during the day, the monument reflects off of the water there. Pretty cool. See a few ducks in there, but Yep, I've never really been down here at night, so this is kind of cool to see this. And we'll turn around, I'm halfway down the reflecting pool. Now, the Washington Monument shines bright, and so does the Capitol. So you got the big three here that shine all the way across. Lincoln, Washington, Capitol. There it is, the big three down this mall. It was a planned city. It's pretty cool. They did it like this. Well, you get the reflecting on the other end from the Washington Monument. That's pretty cool. Almost reflection almost comes all the length of the pool. That's pretty cool. A few ducks there. Lots of people taking pictures here. It's awesome, beautiful evening. Cool. It's a Sunday evening out here in front of the Lincoln Memorial. Hundreds of people here. It is a phenomenal day here at the end of March 30th, and sunny, and now a beautiful evening of 75-degree temperature. People are staying all over the city. I see tour groups, traffic still. People are excited to be out on this beautiful day, beautiful evening here in the nation's capital. Pretty cool. You get a different perspective as you start climbing the steps here at the Lincoln Memorial. We will go up to the top and shake hands there with Abraham Lincoln. Right here, Abraham Lincoln looking down upon us in this temple as the hearts of the people for whom he saved the Union. In memory of Abraham Lincoln, he is enshrined forever. Abraham Lincoln. Pretty cool. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Well, we can barely see it, but this is the Gettysburg Address that Lincoln wrote, or speechwriters wrote, and he said at Gettysburg, after that horrible battle they had there with thousands of men, north and south, perished that day. But the fight to keep the nation alive, it happened. A year later, the war was over, and the nation healed itself over decades. Anyway, but this was the speech by Abraham. Well, I'm on the top steps of the Lincoln Memorial, and this is the view you get all the way down. You can't see the Capitol building because it's behind it. But I'll walk over to the side and see what's there. There it is. Too dark, but one of the Vietnam memorials right here. Kind of cool. On the dark side, but we are currently at the Vietnam Memorial that goes down into a V and back up with the names of all the soldiers and anybody else who perished over in that war and the MIA. So a fitting tribute to the Vietnam veterans who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Another Vietnam Memorial, Vietnam War Memorial.
The 8th graders can go here.
Cool.
See what we can